What's going on, everybody? It's Aaron Duncan here, back again with another video brought to you by Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk. And today, I'm bringing you a Panthers video previewing what's going to happen with the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers matchup coming up this Sunday in Week 2 of this 2021 NFL season. Guys, the Panthers just came off a win against the New York Jets. Everything is cool and beautiful, but the 48-hour rule is in effect. Time to put that game behind us. We can break it down a little bit later if we want, but it's time to look forward because we have a divisional opponent that's coming off a big-time win in New Orleans Saints against the Green Bay Packers this past weekend. They look very impressive, especially if you look at the scoreboard at the end of the day and what they did to Aaron Rodgers defensively. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. But in this video today, we're going to talk about some of the players to watch for the Carolina Panthers in this matchup against New Orleans Saints and why they need to be watched and paid attention to. We're starting right now.
Let's go, man. Let's get it popping, man. Another day to be blessed to be out here, man. Hey, let's get it, man. Squad on 3, 1, 2, 3.
But before we get into everything, you guys, make sure you guys are subscribed below. I do recap and analysis of the NFL, in particular the Carolina Panthers. So if you want to see videos and stay up to date on everything that's going on, get different preview videos and breakdowns and analysis like this, along with live stream reactions after the game, predictions and live streams during the week and all kind of crazy stuff, make sure you guys are subscribed and hit the bell icon. That way you get notification every time I drop a video, because the notification bell is going to make sure you don't miss any videos, because the YouTube algorithm sometimes likes to play games. They like to play hate a little bit. They don't like to always get notifications to people that are subscribed. So make sure you are subscribed. And also, if you like what you see, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, because there's a lot of work that goes into it, and just a thumbs up doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps my video out in the algorithm. So I really appreciate that. The first player for the Carolina Panthers that we should pay attention to and watch is Shaq Thompson. Now, Shaq Thompson came off of a huge game this past week, 10 tackles, quarterback hit, an interception, a pass deflection, and another tackle for a loss. This guy was on fire. A lot of people wanted to crack jokes and chalk it up to him switching his number, but Shaq, this is the second year in the system. He's playing with some better linebackers than Jermaine Carter, so that may actually help take a little bit more pressure off him. Last year, he was playing beside Tahir Whitehead, who was a disaster. So I think that's a lot of the reasons why Shaq had a breakout game. However, this week, we're going to need him to do it again because the opponent is just a notch higher. Obviously, the New Orleans Saints have Alvin Kamara, one of the best running backs in the league, one of the toughest guys to tackle and guard, because he can catch the ball in the backfield. He can run between the tackles. He can run outside. His balance is amazing. Now, Shaq Thompson is the most experienced player on this defense when it comes to playing the New Orleans Saints. He's matched up against these guys multiple times in his career thus far. So he's going to be able to bring a lot of that veteran leadership and insight into how these guys operate. And he knows this coaching staff, he knows the offense in particular, and he's faced off against Alvin Kamara multiple times, like I said before. So Shaq will definitely be leaned upon again this week to make some plays again and hopefully create some turnovers like he did, bring some bone-crushing hits and some plays in the backfield, even if it takes getting after the quarterback when it comes to Jameis Winston. We're going to need Shaq to step up because Alvin Kamara is a beast out of the backfield catching passes too. So Shaq could be counting on to man up in those scenarios too, and hopefully number 7, Shaq Thompson, that's been the turnover this new leaf, can replicate what he did this past week against the Jets and help us lead us to victory against the New Orleans Saints. The second player to watch for the Carolina Panthers is Derrick Brown, our defensive tackle, the former first-round pick from last year, going into the second year. He came off a game last week against the Jets. He had a nasty sack. I mean, he literally just pile-drive Zach Wilson into the ground, and Zach Wilson really didn't get up too fast because this guy's 300-plus pounds of human being, and this guy's country strong. Now, the reason why I say he's a player to watch is because the Saints starting center, Eric McCoy, got injured last week in the game against the Packers, and they had to move right guard Cesar Ruiz inside to inside the center. Ruiz has only played right guard in his whole career, so he's going to be still trying to sort things out. And when it comes to the Saints system, the center has a lot of responsibility with calling out protections and run schemes, identifying a Mike linebacker and stuff like that. It's going to be a lot of responsibility on the plate for a guy who's not used to making those type of calls when it comes to Ruiz. This is where I think Derrick Brown will need to step up and feast. We saw Jameis Winston, if you pay attention to what happened, a lot of the stuff, he ran a lot more than I've really ever seen him do in his career. I mean, this guy was running like crazy. And even if he wasn't running and getting first downs, he was moving in the pocket, which helped open up opportunities for guys in the end zone, as you saw in the Chris Hogan play, where he kind of stepped up in the pocket. The defense came towards him. He threw it right over their head, right to Chris Hogan in the back of the end zone. So it will definitely be up to Derrick Brown to really take advantage of this mismatch, what I think it is, and really push the pocket. Our defensive ends are a little bit lighter on the outside with Brian Burns and Hassan Reddick, And that's where the New Orleans Saints are pretty strong on those tackles, because with guys like Ryan Ramczyk and Teron Armstead, it's going to take Brian Burns and Hassan Reddick beating them with speed. They're not going to be able to beat them with power. So once they beat them with speed, Jameis is going to try to step up in the pocket. But if Derrick Brown can push the pocket back into his lap, it won't allow him to escape, and that way we can collapse and get pressure on Jameis. And we all know what happens to Jameis Winston when you put pressure on him. Turnovers can happen. Turnovers mean extra possessions for our offense that has struggled at times, but any help this defense can give them will be much appreciated. So Derrick Brown is going to be counted on to get that interior pressure and really push some stuff into Jameis Winston's lap and force him to make some mistakes. Next player to watch for the Carolina Panthers is kind of surprising, but our new kicker, Zane Gonzalez. Now, of course, we had the controversy with Joey Slye getting cut in preseason. We made a trade for Ryan Santoso from the New York Giants for a 7th-round pick, and the stipulations on that pick was if Santoso plays 2 games for us, we lose the 7th-round pick. If he doesn't, we keep it. And so they gave him 1 game. They didn't decide to really do anything, but they got rid of Santoso and picked up Zane Gonzalez. Now, Zane Gonzalez, he was a part of this team for a little bit of competition for Joey Slye in the preseason. He got a tryout, but things didn't work out that way. We signed him from the practice squad for the Detroit Lions, so that means that Zane Gonzalez has to at least be on the active roster for 3 weeks. Now, active roster and practice squad are 2 different things. If you're on the active roster, you're counting towards that 53-man roster that's active on game day. That means that we won't be able to put him on practice squad. We're probably not going to bring in another kicker to give him competition, because there's no way you have 2 active kickers on your active roster, because you're going to need those bodies for more important positions. So Zane Gonzalez for the next 3 weeks is going to be that guy. Now, this may be a swinging door, and like I said, we've been streaming kickers on this team like a fantasy football team. Every week it seems like it could be a new guy. You never know what's going to happen. But Zane Gonzalez, he's had some up and down seasons. 2019 was probably his last good season, but he's had some bonehead mistakes also with the Cardinals and stuff like that. So we'll see, because there was not much opportunity for Santoso. He did miss that extra point. I don't know. Matt Rule, there was a 33-yard. We were on the 33-yard line where we punted, where Matt Rule had the opportunity to attempt a 50-yard field goal. He decided to turn it down. If you can't get on the kicker to make a 50-yard field goal, something is wrong. And kickers, I mean, what can we say? These guys are head cases, but hopefully Zane Gonzalez is able to make extra points and take advantage of field goals when we have to, because we know our red zone offense struggles at times. So we can't have a bad red zone offense and a bad kicker, because you're going to leave empty possessions on the field. And when you're playing against a tough opponent like the Saints, you're not allowed to do that. It just if you want to win the game, field goals will definitely get you bait, but missing field goals will definitely get you blown out. So pay attention to that, and we'll see what happens there. If we go for it on 4th down, if they trust Zane Gonzalez to do certain things, pay attention to that guy. Next player to watch on this list is DJ Moore. Now, the reason why I picked DJ Moore, obviously he was the leading receiver last week when it comes to receptions and yards, of course, but DJ Moore has always seems to do pretty solid against the New Orleans Saints. Over the last 4 matchups, he's averaging almost 100 yards and a touchdown per game. That's even with Marshon Lattimore playing. And with Marshon Lattimore hurting his wrist in the Green Bay game, he's expected to miss this game. So expect the New Orleans Saints to go Bradley Roby or Desmond Trufant. Now, Desmond Trufant has some familiarity with DJ Moore, obviously, because he used to play for the Atlanta Falcons. But Bradley Roby, he's their new acquired guy that they got in the offseason right before the season started, and he'll be their number 1 corner. He may be matched up against DJ. We will see. But no matter who's lined up out there, I expect DJ to have a big play, because he's been doing that the past few times we've played the Saints. So let's pay attention. It seems like DJ Moore seems to have a little bit of a good connection when it comes to Sam Darnold. You know, we saw last year it took a little time for DJ Moore to get going because him and Teddy Bridgewater weren't on the same page starting off. Now, this is kind of uncanny, because we thought that since Sam Darnold and Robbie Anderson had that past rapport with the Jets, that he may be the go-to guy, but it seems like they're making a concerted effort to get DJ the ball, and I expect him to do big things this week, and we will need him to step up to take advantage of his matchup. Similar to how I talked about with Derrick Brown, but with the injuries in front of him, if you have guys that are injured, we're going to need you to step up and exploit these matchups, because the NFL is all about matchups and how teams align with each other. And so this is an area we can exploit with DJ Moore versus this New Orleans Saints secondary. The last player to watch on this list is Dennis Daly, the right guard, or John Miller. It depends on who's in there. Now, John Miller, obviously, he's the starter, but because of a COVID positive test or whatever, he was in COVID protocols for 10 days. Now, the 10 days should be up soon, and he may be practicing, but with the way that Dennis Daly played last game, it left a little bit to be desired. Now, we know Dennis Daly has been on record saying he prefers the left side. Hell, he didn't really start playing guard until he got to the NFL anyway. He was a tackle in college. Nevertheless, whoever's in there at guard will need to be solid. And the Saints will be missing some players. Obviously, Marcus Davenport, their starting DN and former first-round pick, will be out. Anyamata is under suspension, but they still have Cam Jordan, and they still have some other names that can get the job done. The Saints team, they play hard, they blitz, they're going to play man, they're going to bring a lot of twists and stunts, and we got to be able to sort these things out and protect Sam Darnold. We struggled last week with that, with the worst pass blocking win rate of all NFL teams against the New York Jets. Now, they dominated us inside with Quentin Williams and Sheldon Rankings. Now, these two guys are quality defensive tackles, but Sheldon Rankins used to play for the Saints. These guys are familiar with the way these guys play. So the Saints are going to see that inside and try to make things happen. Remember last year when we played the Saints in New Orleans, how we lost that game. Teddy Bridgewater was driving the ball downfield on third down. They brought Marcus Davenport on a stunt. He wrapped around. We didn't see him coming. He came right up the gut and sacked Teddy Bridgewater, pushing us out of field goal range. Joey Slye tried to attempt the field goal, but it was just short. It makes you think, had we not lost those 7, 8, 9 yards on that sack, would we have won that game based off the Joey Slye field goal and it'd be a whole different story? Maybe so. So just pay attention to how those blitzes, those twists, those stunts, how guys loop around. That's going to be something to watch. And Dennis Daly or John Milner, whoever the guard is, even with Pat Elflein on the left guard position, along with Matt Paradise at center, they're going to have to be able to be on the same page and sort out all these twists and blocks and zone blitzes that the Saints are going to bring. Because like I said, with them being missing some starters, they're going to want to try to get pressure because they saw what the Jets were able to do when they got pressure on us for the most part. It pretty much stymied our offense, and forced us to go to Christian McCaffrey a lot. So they're going to try to do those twists and stunts. So it's going to be up to the starting guards to sort out those type of plays and make sure they're on the same page and pick up those blitzes to give time to find those weapons that we have on the outside because we have a ton of speed. But if we don't protect long enough for them to get downfield, it's all for naught. So we have to get it done up front. This is probably the most important matchup that we have coming up. But without further ado, I'm Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk. You guys let me know down below in the comments which one of the players do you think is probably that you're paying attention to, and which one do you think is going to be the most important? Did I miss any guys that should be paying attention to in this game for certain reasons? Let me know down below in the comments. But without further ado, I'm signing off. I'll see you next time. Peace.